Hello and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10 Guides. Most Amazing is the name, and making all kinds of different top 10 lists about various things is the game. That's not very catchy, is it? Should probably scrap that one. Never mind. I am Danny Burke, and today we're going to be talking about some things that you guys probably use on a daily basis. But if you live somewhere else in the world, you will be breaking the law for having them. Now let's see how much of a criminal you really are, guys, as we jump into our number 10 banned everyday items. Starting off at number 10, we have chewing gum. Now you wouldn't think twice about going into a shop and buying a pack of gum, would you? But in Singapore, you won't be able to do that because it's simply illegal. This law was brought in that bans the buying, selling and chewing of gum, and it came after years of the country battling with people vandalizing everything with gum. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Singapore was basically covered in this stuff. In its housing apartments, in its mailboxes, and even on train doors. The train doors couldn't even open. It caused massive disruption, as well as costing a small fortune to constantly clean up, and there was no real way to easily catch the gum scoundrels. I think gum scoundrels might actually be one of my favourite phrases I've ever used in quite a while. I want to be a gum scoundrel. Okay, next up at number 9, we have video games. Now for a lot of us, there's nothing more fun than staying up late and playing some video games, but in South Korea, kids will be breaking the law if they stay up too late and do that. In 2009, the government brought in what they call the shutdown law, which makes it illegal for anyone under the age of 16 to play video games after midnight. What's that all about? Now this came in response to the increasing amount of young South Koreans who are deemed to be addicted to online video games, to the point where it's said to be negatively affecting their own lives. The ban lasts from midnight until 6 AM, which means if I grew up with this ban, I probably would have had much less tired, sleepy school mornings. Alright, at number 8, we have the innocent plastic bag. Why is that illegal? Now when you go to the supermarket, it seems only natural to put all of your shopping into a plastic bag, but if you're in Bangladesh, you're handling an illegal item, and it's not for a dumb reason either. Bangladesh is made up of very low-lying land that is very prone to flooding. In the 80s, the country began to use more and more plastic bags, but only 10% of them were being properly disposed of. The remaining 8 million bags began to clog up the drains and sewers over the years, until in 1989, when heavy rain came, the bags caused a flood that covered 2/3 of the entire country in water. When this happened again in 1998, they said enough is enough, and by 2002, Bangladesh had banned all plastic bags. Alright, moving on now. I think it's safe to say it's summer now for most of you guys watching this, and the one thing you might reach for in warm weather is a nice pair of flip-flops. But at number 7, don't wear them on this Italian island. Capri is an idyllic Mediterranean island off the coast of mainland Italy that attracts a lot of tourists every year to its beautiful scenery and rich history. Just look at those pictures. Now although the locals welcome visitors to their lovely little island, they get sick of their noisy flip-flops. Yes, they said the summer sandals were causing excessive amounts of noise when people walked in them, and they didn't like it, so they just said no, and they banned them. They're not joking either. They have actually arrested people who ignored that law and wore flip-flops. Imagine ending up in prison and having to explain to tough criminals that you're behind bars because your flip-flops were a bit too squeaky. Okay, moving on now, we've got an item that most of you guys probably own, but if you bring it to North Korea, you're going straight to jail. And number 6 is blue jeans. Now it's no surprise that North Korea doesn't like America or simply the West in general. The government has been banning its people from experiencing almost anything that could be seen as American, and for many people, one of the most American things is a nice crisp pair of blue denim jeans. By banning this symbol of capitalist America, the North Korean government is hoping to send a very clear message. We don't want American culture, we don't want American ideas, and we don't know what to wear when we're heading out to meet our friends this weekend. I bet they wish they had some nice blue jeans instead of whatever those are. What are they? It looks like actual cardboard. Okay, next up at number 5, we have the mullet. Now, I know you guys might not class this haircut as an item, so to speak, but it's pretty much got a life of its own, so I'm going to call it an item. Especially in Canada, it's basically a national treasure here. In 2010, Iran banned this 80s style mullet that we all know and hate. They released a list of approved and illegal hairstyles that they said were based on the culture and religion religion of the Iranian people. For some reason, this business in the front, party in the back haircut goes against everything the Iranian government stands for, and they put a total ban on it. Nobody can get it, but to be honest, the more I look at that haircut, the more I kind of agree. It's a criminal haircut. Alright, moving on to our number 4 now. We've got small water bottles. Yes, very illegal, but only small ones apparently. In 2012, the U.S. state of Massachusetts banned the sale of all plastic water bottles smaller than 1 litre. The law was passed after concerns that these small bottles of water are a waste of resources, a waste of transport, and the plastic they use is non-biodegradable, which means that after it's used and dumped, it can take hundreds of years to decompose. Now, if you're ever in Massachusetts and become a repeat offender when it comes to selling or buying small bottles of water, you can actually land yourself a $50 fine. I'm sure there's a lot of well-hydrated criminals in Massachusetts. Alright, moving on to our number 3 now, we have the very illegal, very scary baby walker. Yes, in Canada, this thing is illegal. During the 90s, there was an increasing number of scientific reports that said baby walkers were dangerous to babies. They were said to cause head injuries, burns, crushed fingers, broken teeth, bones, and in some cases, even death. And if a baby survived all of that previous stuff, they said that walkers stunted the mental growth of babies and affected how they learnt to walk. Now, I feel bad for whoever actually invented them. They just wanted babies to bounce. What's wrong with that? Well, Canada didn't take this information lightly, and in 2004 they put a total ban on baby walkers. So this is an illegal contraption. I wonder if there are gangsters out there that sell baby walkers in Canada and maybe kill other gangsters who sell baby walkers. No? Just me? Okay, let's move on. Next up at number 2, we've got the ban of doorknobs in Vancouver, Canada. Now don't worry, if you find yourself in Vancouver with a doorknob in your pocket for some reason, you're not going to get arrested, although you might get some strange looks. This law says that no new buildings are allowed to have doorknobs, even private homes. This is because doorknobs are being seen as old-fashioned and impractical compared to the new, easy-to-use lever ones that many of you guys might have seen in new buildings wherever you are. They're so much easier to open for a child, an old person, or even if you just have your hands full of stuff. So you won't be seeing any new doorknobs in Vancouver unless they are maybe secret illegal doorknobs. So hold on to your doorknobs tightly, folks. They're coming for your doorknobs. They're coming for mine. Doorknob. Don't let your doorknob out of your sight. And finally now, we have a really addictive substance, and chances are that you are no further than maybe just a few meters from some of it right now. And number 1 is ketchup. Yes, that's right, ketchup is illegal in French schools. Now it might seem strange that the best dip for French fries would be banned in France, but they do have their reasons. According to the French government, ketchup was ruining the ancient experience of French cuisine for the youngsters there. They said that ketchup is ruining some traditional French meals for kids by covering the taste, which means they are not going to pass down this tradition to the next generation. Now, if some of you guys are simply crying at the thought of French kids not being able to experience the joy of French fries with ketchup, then don't worry. Apparently, that is okay because it's not really a traditional French meal, even though they have the word French in them. Panic over, I was worried they were going to miss out on one of the best things in the universe. Well guys, that was 10 everyday items that are banned around the world. Do you guys know of any others? I know some countries out there that have so many strange little laws like this that I would probably be a notorious criminal by their standards. Well, I think it would be an absolute crime if you guys didn't subscribe to this channel. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. My jokes are a crime. I'm Danny Burke. Thanks for watching Most Amazing Top 10, guys, and as always, I'll see you all in a bit.